everyone. This is Rachel at KTRU. We're here with Karl Wolf.
What's up, Rachel?
What made you decide to go by the stage name Karl Wolf?
That's an interesting question. When I was in high school, I was in a part of the basketball team, and I'm a point guard. I'm 5'7", so I'm not like a tall guy, but I was point guard, and we won 23 out of 24 championships in my high school in Dubai. By the way, I grew up in Dubai, and there was a movie at the time, or there was a movie with Michael J. Fox called Teen Wolf, and he would be the shortest guy on the team, but when he would turn into the wolf, he'd be the fastest guy making all the plays. And so people used to call me, because I was the fastest guy on the team, they would call me the wolf, and they would kind of do this, just a sign, and then it just caught on. My real name's Karl, so just the name started catching on with everyone, and I went with the name Karl Wolf.
How long were you in Dubai?
12 years, I think. So I was from 3 years old to about 17, let's say, something like that. So 17, 16. So I would say, yeah, 13 years.
Do you think you were influenced by the music scene in Dubai?
I think so. I mean, at the beginning of my career, I was heavily influenced by my mom's cultural background, like Middle Eastern musical background. I basically blended that and fused that with North American R&B and created songs like Yalla Habibi, which became a huge hit, which means "Let's Go, My Love" in Arabic, and you know, spawned this huge following in Dubai and the Middle East. They love that, you know, when you put a couple of words of the mother tongue kind of thing. But ever since then, I didn't really use much of that, and I've had a great career around the world.
To a first-time listener who is listening to your music for the first time, how would you describe your genre overall?
I would say it's a blend between R&B, pop, and some dance hall. That's pretty much the energy of it all. And once in a while, I just drop some hints of like Middle Eastern touch here and there. That's pretty much the thing. It's a salad.
As you're talking about your music style, you talk about a lot of Middle Eastern, Arabic influences.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that kind of gives you an edge with your music. And I saw that you've won some Juno Awards.
Yeah. So I've had several awards in my career. I mean, I've had 3 Juno Awards, 3 Juno nominations. Juno is a Canadian Grammy, and I've been nominated 3 times. I won 6 SOCAN Awards, which is kind of like ASCAP. It's a songwriting award. 2 Sounds of Blackness Awards, 1 Canadian Radio Music Award, and 1 MTV Europe Music Award. So I've had about 13 awards, 20 platinum and gold records. I'm a seasoned artist. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I've been one of the lucky ones. And I've got a career pretty much all over the world. But this is the first time that I'm breaking in the US market, which is very interesting because I've been a very known artist here in Canada, but nobody knows me in America. So this is exciting.
No worries. US is large, so it's like you may be known in one city and then it's like, oh, who are you in the another?
True. There you go.
So it's definitely a strange music ecosystem.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with Canada, I guess. But we look at it as Canada as a whole, you know. Once you're known in Canada, I guess you could say the same thing about Toronto. There's certain Toronto rappers that people don't know in other cities and stuff, but because of social media, I think it travels quicker. And Spotify, you see all the analytics as well. We see the back end of, you know, who's watching us, who's listening, who's paying attention. Like I've got a huge fan base in Japan, like huge fan base in Japan, huge fan base in Germany. Crazy.
Japan's always interesting when they like. I talked to like a lot of different people, and they say, "Oh, it's like, oh yeah, like for some reason I have a fan base in Japan."
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how, but I'm grateful.
They love what they love. That's the thing. Japanese. I've been there 4 times, and I performed there so many times. Like they just love good. When something's good for them, they just love it, and they eat it up. You know, they don't wait for other countries to say, okay, that's hot. They just say that's what we love, and they go for it, and they like my stuff at the time. Absolutely. Dubai was probably the nicest place to perform, but I even performed in places like Egypt, in the North Coast. That was really beautiful on the water. It was literally on a beach concert with 10,000 people, 20,000 people. It was incredible. I opened for Kelly Rowland, did a show with Pitbull as well in Dubai, which was fantastic, huge. I keep on mentioning Dubai because it was one of my best, like, engagement with the fans. You know what I mean? We had so many fans there. Japan was incredible. I did a whole promo tour in Japan. I went to Fukuoka. I went to, you know, Tokyo. We went to different cities, and it was really fun. Like, I had a huge, like, a kind of a promo stage in the middle of Shibuya.
In the middle of a global pandemic, firstly. And then second part of that question is, can you talk to us more about the single itself?
Sure. So, you know, just being a human being and living through this craziness that we're living through was a little tough on me. Just definitely, I never really had suffered from anxieties in my life, but now I did. Like, I always thought if I had a cough, maybe I have COVID. You know, we're all I had to call my mom. Do I have it? What do you think? She's like, Karl, you've coughed before, you know, and you never cared. So calm down. And that affected the way I make music, to be honest, because I started being a little more introspective as opposed to just the party, you know, extrovert guy. I was thinking, you know, how do I write something that's a little more meaningful and maybe something that could help people? And one of my songs, actually, Stay Home, which is the parody for Say So, Doja Cat, went viral on TikTok. I made it here, and it was basically a message to tell everyone, guys, because a lot of peers of mine weren't staying home. They were actually, I kept on seeing them on Instagram stories, going out and partying at clubs, you know, earlier on, you know, when people didn't really take it too seriously. And I was taking it seriously. So I made that song. I also had another song called Corona World, which is a parody of A Whole New World, Aladdin's A Whole New World. Corona World, you know, so I did that. That was funny. And you can find those on my Facebook. You can find them on YouTube, actually. Just type in Karl Wolf and you'll find those. So that was the beginning. That's how I started. I started making it as a communication. And then with City of Lies, the concept was about a relationship. That's the new single. And you know.
You've been in the music industry for almost two decades. Can you tell us how, just with different tools that artists have nowadays, starting from YouTube and then songs going viral so quickly, can you tell us, like, how you've seen the world change over the years because of these social media platforms?
That's a fantastic question, actually, because, you know, I was literally at the beginning of that, and right before right before the break of YouTube. And my song Africa started when YouTube was just starting as well. And I even remember a time where we were giving, you know, stats from Spotify to radio stations, and they didn't care about it. They're like, so what if you're big on Spotify? What does that mean? What is Spotify? You know, and I'm like, do you understand that Spotify today, if you tell radio stations that I've got this much on Spotify and this is what I'm doing on Spotify, they'll be like, oh my God, that means people are listening to you, you know, because that's one of those platforms where you've got the analytics. You can actually show where your demographic is coming from. And back then it didn't even matter. So it's definitely changed the whole scope of this industry. I would say definitely for the better, you know, for the majority of the artists, because now any artist can have a chance, you know, as opposed to before you needed to be signed to a label, and someone at like an A&R at a record company had to see something in you in order to sign you and then put marketing dollars behind you. Right now, any individual that is talented or makes music or whatever, even if you don't have talent and you put music out and it's got an audience, you're making money. Like, you can make money from selling your songs online or selling anything online. TikTok, that's a new platform. I just started studying it recently, and I went viral on one of my videos. It's very interesting. You're right. It's like the concept of TikTok is like a dancer makes a dance on one of an artist's song, a 15-second snippet. Then all their followers start to copy her or his dance, and they use your song. So it's not even like I had my song Amateur Love.
Of technology in this day and age, during the whole, like, the world shutting down, do you think it's helped you as a musician and as a producer and composer? Do you think quarantine has been a benefit or a disadvantage? Because, like, some people said it's like, okay, well, this has been a reset for me, so I'm just kind of like, this is what I'm focusing on. And some people are like, I'm struggling to make a living because tours have been canceled.
Absolutely.
So how's it been for you?
Well, let me tell you the truth about this. If you are I'm very blessed. I've always known deep inside, Rachel, that I need to be able to write and produce my own music. I've always felt that as a gut instinct to be self-sufficient. So look at this moment. You know, I didn't forecast this. I didn't know that this was going to happen, but I've built my studio in my house. I've built everything that I ever need. I've got a grand piano out there. I've got like literally, I make my own music videos. I studied film, by the way, in university. So I make my own music videos. I know how to shoot. I know how to light. I know how to broadcast. I know how to master, mix, record, play, write. I learned how to do all these things because at the time, I didn't want to rely on anyone else. It was.
Would you consider yourself then to be more of an introvert or an extrovert by nature?
Say it's tricky. On some level, I like both. I love to be a performer and have events. Of course, you know, like your other interviewee or whatever said that they were finding it hard because they're not traveling and they're not, you know, performing. They're not doing events and stuff. That is cutting our business in half, essentially. But because I'm a songwriter, I'm making, you know, we've got royalties. I'm a producer. I'm producing for other people. So there's ways to keep functioning and making money, not only doing concerts. However, I don't just like to be a producer.
People like find the
whatever, but all the information, all like my tour is all posted on my Facebook or my Instagram. So if you want to go check out my Instagram, it's Karl, so Karl Wolf, like the animal. So Karl Wolf with an S at the end. So Karl Wolf's. All my social media is that. So my TikTok is that, Instagram, Twitter, Karl Wolf's. And then check me out on Spotify as well. You can just type in Karl. I'm verified everywhere, so you'll find me.
Any last words before you get ready for your show?
Yeah, well, I just want to thank you guys. Thank you, Rachel, for everything. And I'd love to come to Houston. I've never been there before, and I hear so much about it. And the food is incredible, the nightlife. So I'm excited. Once quarantine is over, I'm coming to see you.
Alrighty, I'll give you a tour of the city.
Sweet.
This has been Rachel with Karl Wolf, signing off.
Peace.